This is my Series 5 Apple Watch, and after owning it for quite some time now, I wanted to do a follow-up video because my thoughts and my opinions have changed ever since my official review video. Alright, so first things first, the watch that I bought is the 44mm Space Gray Nike Edition Apple Watch. I always like going with the darker color option because it blends in really nicely with the OLED display, and with this combo, this always gives it the infinity display look. If you watched my previous video in the past, you know that I always personally pick up the Nike version of the Apple Watch simply because it costs the same as the standard sport aluminum body Apple Watch, but you get those exclusive color watch faces to choose from. I also like the fact that these also get exclusive Apple Watch bands as well, right out of the box. And don't forget, it's only the Nike Edition loop band that actually has that reflective yarn. But now, new for Series 5, you can actually buy this band separately, so you don't have to get the Nike Edition if you want that reflective yarn. Now you can actually purchase it separately. When the Series 4 was released, that wasn't an option. Now the condition of my Apple Watch, under normal daily usage, the body condition is overall okay. But if we take a look at the digital crown, I guess I must have hit my wrist against the wall because there's scratches and marks on the digital crown right there, you can see. But the aluminum body overall, it's in fair shape. There is a big scratch right here, I guess, that happened during that impact. Somehow has no hairline marks or scratches. So somehow the screen is still scratch free ever since I owned this Apple Watch on day one from its official release. Now, as we know, the Apple Watch Series 5 didn't receive a major redesign compared to the Series 4. So the body is 100% identical compared to the Series 4 still. It still is slim, it still has those thin bezels, and the same two size options is still available on the Series 5. You got a choice between 40mm or the 44. And if you own an older Apple Watch, you can still transfer those old bands to the new Apple Watch. So if you're somebody that's upgrading from a Series 3 or older, this is going to be a pleasant upgrade for you. Especially with the digital crown, because if you skip the Series 4 and you're going to go ahead and get the Series 5, first thing you're going to find interesting is the digital crown actually gives you haptic feedback, which simulates a mechanical rotation. But unlike the Series 4, the Series 5 gives you more materials to choose from, as now you can actually select from a titanium body or a ceramic. So it's no longer just a choice between stainless steel or aluminum. But when you have the Series 4 and the Series 5 side by side, it's only until you power on the Series 5 and you put it on your wrist is when you notice and can see the difference to identify a Series 4 from the Series 5. Thanks to that new LTPO display hardware, it's the first Apple Watch to have that always on display hardware. And a common question I would typically get all the time regarding that always on display is, will this affect my battery life? And throughout the months that I owned this Apple Watch, battery life was never once an issue. From my experience with my Series 5, under a single charge, this Apple Watch was able to make it throughout the entire day just fine. I have noticed after once in a while I'll typically change my watch face to different watch faces, is that depending on the watch face, I have noticed if you have a watch face selected with more complications, more colors and such like that, it does draw more energy. So at the end of the day, I'm left with a lower battery life percentage. But on average, I could average anywhere from 50 all the way down to 30% battery life. So again, it could just vary on your watch face. But if you select something like a simple watch face, that will leave you with a better battery life percentage at the end of the day. But the most that I got in with my Series 5 Apple Watch under a single charge is a day and a half. So I want to say the most I came close under a single charge, probably like 30 hours. That was just because I forgot to charge it, and it's until my watch actually tells me I have 10% left. So that 18-hour mark is guaranteed. But yes, I could confirm that on the Series 4, the battery life is more consistent on that Apple Watch. But you can always disable the always on display if you're concerned about the Series 5. But again, it's guaranteed you to last you throughout the day, so that's nothing to really be concerned about. And even if you run out of battery, it literally takes less than an hour to fully charge the Apple Watch. But besides that, it still has that gorgeous OLED display that's found on the Series 4. I still think this is probably one of the best looking smartwatch displays available in today's market. Colors are very vivid. Text is really easy to read since it has a square display still. still, no matter the lighting conditions, the screen is very visible. And this also includes when the always on display goes on. Now I have benefited a lot, I noticed, with the always on display. I find it perfect when you're socializing, having a conversation with somebody. I like that I don't have to do the gesture move to simply look at the clock. I could just take a quick glance on my wrist and I see the time right there. I don't have to be that one guy that does this in front of people, because that's just rude. And when I'm working out, holding a barbell, if I want to see the stats of my workout, my calories, or whatever I'm tracking, I could just take a quick glance. I don't have to drop the weights or anything like that to know where I'm at. Or even in general, when I'm just doing basic stuff, I just like that I don't have to do that movement to take a look at the time or my notification. And just like all the other watch faces, the always on display is also able to be customized. So yeah, I want to say I'm getting my fair usage out of the Series 5. And honestly, this is probably the only reason why somebody may want to upgrade to the Series 5. It's just because of that always on display. Because I doubt people are gonna upgrade to the Series 5 because of that compass function. Even though it's cool, but honestly I haven't once really used or had a need to actually use this complication or that application. Because personally, after the months of using this Apple Watch, I never really once needed to use the compass app. The only thing I could remember right now is one time I did use the compass app just to use the incline meter, just to line up furniture around, make sure everything is even. But still, it's a cool tool, but that's not really a key selling point here. But I know some might be able to benefit off of this, especially on the Maps app, because with the compass, you can actually see when you launch the Map app on your Apple Watch which direction you're pointing. So if you're navigating through the city, the streets, that's really useful when you're walking. But I'm pretty sure the vast majority of us, we rely on our smartphone because it has a larger screen for navigation. Now another worth mentioning hardware that typically people seem to forget is the storage capacity on the Series 5 is much larger, as it's double the capacity. Where the Series 4 originally only had 16 gigabytes of storage, but now the Series 5 has 32. And at first I thought this was going to be really useful, especially with watchOS 6. The newly added independent app store was supposed to bring us a lot of independent apps specifically for just the Apple Watch, so that I could take advantage of that additional storage that's found on the Series 5. But I have over 68 apps installed on my Apple Watch, and I still have plenty of storage left. So that means if I was still using my Series 4 as my main device, I would have been just fine without that additional storage. But then again, this does technically make the Series 5 more future-proof. Now a letdown that I did had with the Series 5 is that I was somewhat disappointed that it didn't receive a bump in performance. Yes, although it is labeled to have a S5 chipset inside the Series 5, in reality, it's really just a rebrand of the S4 chip that was found on the Series 4. Maybe on the upcoming Series 6 Apple Watch, it may actually have a bump in performance. But after using the latest version of watchOS 6, I never once noticed that this watch needed a performance boost, because overall the watch is really snappy, multitasking is really fluid. It never once was slow or felt really laggy to me, which is probably the reason why Apple wasn't primarily focusing on increasing the performance speed on the Series 5. They were just primarily focused on that always on display hardware. But all in all, I think the Apple Watch Series 5 is probably one of the best smartwatch available in today's market, and not just being a smartwatch, but also being a fitness tracker and a health device. And don't forget, it's one of the only few flagship smartwatches that actually has a built-in ECG. But it also has the fall detection, which works very well and has been covered on the news a couple of times already, of it already saving some lives. The decibel reader is nice to have. I like it that it does it all automatically. You don't have to go in the application or toggle anything. The watch will automatically begin listening and keep track of the decibel levels that you are exposed to, and will warn you if you've been exposed for it for too long to help prevent hearing loss. And then the Apple monthly challenges on the activity application. It really does encourage you to get off your butt to complete these monthly challenges to unlock these limited edition awards. And don't worry about manually starting your workout. The watch has auto workout detection, so whatever activity, the movement that your wrist is doing, it will automatically detect and select the correct workout. You confirm it, and it will actually credit you the time you were doing that activity as well as the calories, so you don't lose any time in progress. That is a really useful feature that I use the most, especially when I'm just doing cardio. So with all that said, the Series 5 is a fantastic watch. If you're somebody that owns a really old Apple Watch and you're gonna make the jump from the Series 5, you're gonna be really satisfied. You're not gonna have any complaints. But if you have a Series 4, again, the only selling feature for you here is probably just the always on display, maybe the additional material options to choose from like that titanium or ceramic body. That could also be a selling point for you. But that's my update video review of the Series 5. If you're planning on buying one, just hold off a little bit until we pass spring, because rumor has it there's gonna be a product red edition of the Series 5. It's a rumor, but there's that chance it might happen. But that basically wraps up my updated video review of the Series 5 Apple Watch and where it's at in its current stage and condition wise under normal usage, its wear and tear condition. So if you found this information informative, hit that like button. If you're curious what kind of accessories I have on my Apple Watch, you can go ahead and click on this video as I pretty much cover all my favorite ones. And then this video over here, that's a video that YouTube is recommending specifically for you. They say you're gonna like it, so give it a shot. Let me know in the comments if YouTube was right. Anyway folks, thank you once again so much for watching. Take care, and I'll catch you all in the next one. See ya.